The jury deliberated for 9.5 hours, over 2 days before finding Trump guilty of falsifying business records to influence the 2016 election by making hush money payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels, who said the two had sex.
All right, the next date to watch, July 11th, when his sentencing is set to take place. That's just days before the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, where Trump, of course, is expected to be the GOP's nominee. And today's guilty verdict bringing an end to the first criminal trial ever of an American president. Donald Trump's hush money trial playing out for more than a year after the former president was indicted by a Manhattan grand jury.
Yeah, Fox 5's Linda Schmidt looks back on the historic case and how we got to this point.
We have some major breaking news right now. Donald Trump's lawyer says he's been told of a New York indictment. Linda Schmidt joins us now with what we know about the news that has just broken within the past 5-10 minutes. Linda.
I just got off the phone. I've been texting with President Trump's attorney, Joe Chacapina, and he confirmed it for me. He says, yes, in fact, the grand jury that was impaneled here starting in early January has indicted the former president. That was last year, March 30th, the bombshell news that Donald Trump had become the first former president to be indicted for an alleged crime. 4 days later, Trump flying from his Florida home to New York for his arraignment.
Breaking news tonight, former President Trump is in Manhattan. His private plane there landing at LaGuardia.
The next day, April 4th, history is made again as Trump arrives at the office of Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg to surrender on felony charges that he falsified business documents to cover up hush money payments in an orchestrated criminal scheme to influence the election. A former president sitting at the defendant's table in a criminal courtroom.
The evidence will show that he did so to cover up crimes relating to the 2016 election.
Trump's attorney at that time outraged by the 34-count indictment.
If this man's name was not Donald J. Trump, there is no scenario we'd all be here today. Please understand that based on these charges.
Later that night, Donald Trump back in Florida, holding a rally, calling the charges a political witch hunt intended to keep him off the campaign trail for the 2024 election.
I never thought anything like this could happen in America. Never thought it could happen. The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it.
There's no chance that these charges would have been brought in this way against anybody else.
Peter Frankel is a criminal defense attorney. He is not connected to the Trump hush money case. Frankel believes it was a political prosecution.
This case was first considered by the Federal Election Commission, which really is the body that has jurisdiction over a case like this. They passed on it. The Southern District of New York also passed on it. Cy Vance, Alvin Bragg's predecessor, passed on it. So that tells you a lot about the merits of the case.
Testimony lasted 4 weeks and included porn actress Stormy Daniels, David Pecker, the former publisher of the National Enquirer tabloid, Hope Hicks, an advisor and close confidant in the Trump White House, and the key prosecution witness, Michael Cohen, Trump's former longtime attorney and fixer. Cohen testified that Trump reimbursed him $130,000 to pay off Daniels to keep her quiet about their alleged sexual encounter. The felony case against Trump claimed that he falsely logged that payment in business records as a legal expense to protect his 2016 presidential campaign.
I had a legal expense, and I marked it down as a legal expense.
Many legal experts say Michael Cohen was not the ideal witness for the foundation of the prosecution's case. He admitted to lying under oath during several proceedings, lying to Congress, was disbarred, and went to prison. James Kasouros is a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor.
Out of all the cases that Mr. Trump has been charged with, this is the one that people regard as the least serious and the more of a stretch.
Attorney Kasouros was not part of the case, but says it was about more than just the hush money.
If it were just a hush money case, I don't know that it would be brought. But when you look at it as a hush money payoff in order to affect the presidential election, it takes on a completely more serious tenor.
Linda Schmidt, Fox 5 News.